Hey everyone, that introduction was made by my friend Daniel, so thank you very much Daniel. I added that music to it and it actually looks really cool. Not a lot has been happening apart from the fact that I've just been hanging out with my new boyfriend. For people who follow me on Facebook, this is the lunch that he made for Kathy Bates. That I took a picture of and I ended up stealing it. Life this year has actually taken a really bizarre turn. I've been so busy these last couple of weeks. I've been doing things for myself, I've been doing things for other people, I've been spending time with fantastic people, and I've been having a very great year so far. I needed a topic for today's video and I thought that I'd share with you a little story. Back in Australia, I had my drink spiked 3 times over a period of around about 4 years. The first time that it happened, I didn't really know what was happening because I just kind of blanked out for around about 2 hours and woke up on a seat, which was weird because I had only had 3 beers. 3 beers didn't really affect me that much and I just had this gap of time where I didn't really know what had happened. I don't think the person realized that I am actually kind of a big guy. I'm 6'4", so 6'4" dead weight's really hard to move. The second time that I was spiked, I was at a club waiting for friends to arrive, and then they arrived and then they left, and some dude came up and he was being all friendly, and I thought, oh, you're kind of nice, and then he had bought me a Red Bull. Unfortunately, I didn't see the guys at the bar pour that Red Bull, and all I remember was that things kind of slowed down, and then my friend Jason turned up and he was like, hey Dan, I haven't seen you for ages, and I was like, Jason suggested that we go to the dance floor so I could wake up because he didn't know what was going on, I didn't know what was going on, and it seemed like a good idea to do. At this point in time, I had not had an alcoholic drink yet. So I got to the dance floor and I went smack. I fell straight forward, head first into the ground, and I don't know if you can tell, but the glass went straight through my hand. I ended up having bits of glass embedded into my palm. Jason pulled me up. Poor Jason, he comes up to here on me, and he's I think he's 6 years younger than me, and he just pulled me up and took me out of the club and put me into a cab and around the corner to his house so then he could work out what was going on. I, meanwhile, was covered head to toe in blood. That night I had chosen to wear white. I was absolutely saturated with blood. I had blood all over my face, all over my clothes. I ended up bleeding all over his carpet, everywhere, because I was confused as well. So I wasn't sure where I was. I thought that I was back home, but there were photos on the wall that I didn't recognize and I got really distressed. Jason managed to get all the glass out, he patched me back up, and then as soon as the drugs, whatever they gave me, wore out, I was awake and I was okay, let's go back to the club. Jason's that's not really a good idea, and I was yeah it is, I can't sleep, so let's go. So we went back to the club, they let me in, I was still covered in blood, I have no idea why they let me in. The third time, I was at a club and I was talking to this dude's girlfriend. I was just being friendly. He thought that I was trying to hit on her. I turn around to say something to my friends and I turn back and my glass is overflowing with foam. I lifted up my beer and at the bottom was a broken capsule. This dude had just put drugs in my drink to try and knock me out of the equation because I think he thought that I was trying to be competition for his girlfriend. Those are the times that I have had my drink spiked. I have also had my friend's drink spiked, even here in Vancouver. I've seen it done a couple of times where I've actually just been able to scoop my friends up and cut them out and take them to their apartments and get their boyfriends to meet me at the door. Drink spiking is pretty serious. It's important that if you're new to the clubs, make sure you know where your drink is at every time because you don't think it's going to happen to you. I wouldn't think that it would happen to me, but it can happen to you. So make sure that you stay diligent as to where your drink is. Okay everyone, this is an ExplorationB first because what happened was I had a shout out for a really good channel, but what happened, they ended up disabling their account. Not to fear, there is actually a really cool channel out there called Brandonality. You should check him out. He does kind of everyday observations. He's quite funny and his video production is superb. I love his video about the push harder. You know that thing that you do when you're flipping through channels and your remote stops working? Yeah. So check him out. Tell him I said hey. I think he's actually quite funny and I expect him to be quite big. Have a great week and I will see you Friday on the next door, boys, and sometime next week.